What we did last week was we went through we showed style sheets, how to separate your style sheet as a CSS, your first CSS on its separate file document. So we talk about the background colors, padding left. We also talk about background image, and as a background image, we did a position center, and if you'll see, we put the dog behind it. We're able to place the dog where it has to be. Then we did a main body, font size. We did three EMs and three M's, and I remember I told you guys that we will talk about the font sizes, pixel, and so today we will explain a little bit for you to understand why. And we did the color. Now we're using the RGB 250 250. So for this one, we'll go through and show you why this color pop up, what it is. And we did the same text align, how to align your items on the page, center, left, right. When we did absolute position and relative. So I mean, we did a lot CSS and to begin with, to make sure that you know what we are doing. So today we are going to create a different, I mean, different documents where we're gonna start afresh. This you can keep it, but we will create a different document. And so let's begin. So for us to begin with, just go here, file, and you can say new file, but it will create it on the same document folder. So, or new file. After you name it, you're about to name it here. So you see the folder here. I don't know how you name yours. If you want, go outside, go another one level back, and create a new folder here. So oh great. Now this I think we'll call it. Let's call it. You choose a name that you want. CSS complete. Yeah, the folder. So CSS complete. Oh yeah, sorry. I made a mess. Let's begin. New file. Save as. So new file, you can, after you say save as, I'm using a shortcut, Command S. In Windows, it will be CT, Control S. So save. So if on a folder, I have to create a new folder. I'll call it CSS complete. This name has been taken. Okay, did I create it? Yeah, let me see. CSS. Oh yeah, there's a file there. So as a new folder, let's call it CSS full page. Full page. Then your title, how to save your file, you have to stay index eindex .html. You save it. Yeah, compared to, let me show you a shortcut. When you open as a index.html, as a HTML document, I've already told you that we start with a Doctype and all these tags, HTML language, head, body, and for you to get like a template on the VS Code, you hold Shift and exclamation mark. Yeah, you hold it, then it opens like that. Then you press Tab on your keyboard. You see, it gave you a template to begin with. So for us to type all these, it's good to type it. But so for you to be efficient, we're talking about productivity. So productivity and efficient is time. So you have to, soon you'll get to know, to learn about the shortcuts. Yeah, then so you get it. Now let's begin. So let me show you the website that we will be building. This is not very a complete website as in any means, but CSS, I just want to show you what you can do with this one, with the CSS that we have linked. So after CSS, we'll go to frameworks that will give, like, the amount of time that we will take to do this. When we go in an intermediate level, you do it in just, 1/4 of it with a CSS framework that we will learn. We can learn Bootstrap, Materialize, Foundation, Tailwind, and stuff. So these ones are a little bit, that we're going to use is like you're using the real raw CSS to build this one. And this it's good to learn about, you have to learn before you get to the frameworks. So the styling is it looks cool. I did it. I think this is what I did when I was learning CSS back in the days. So, yeah. So that's what I want you to learn. So you get to know what all the CSS selectors do. So let's go. Yeah, my tab. Okay. So first, guys, on a serious note, let's call this document, the title of the document, let's call it, that's my friend Cadwell. Cadwell Bakery. We bake for you. Yeah. So you see how we named the title. The title is the title that will appear on the web page on the top. So now on the body, let's start doing something. So div, remember we talked about the div. It's just a wrapper. It's nothing. It's just a container. So div ID. Let's give an idea of another shortcut that I want you to know is div dot So in case you use HTML like H1, you have to stop typing like H1. Then sometimes it will complete for you. But you can also use a shortcut H1. Then you tap the tab button. I mean, you press it. You see, it does it automatically with VS Code. So in case you are using another editor, they have their shortcuts. So on VS Code, you just press the tab and it will complete for you. So H1 tab. So that means we would have done class like this. And then we put what we want to put, the class name. You see. But these we can use a shortcut too. So when we H1, don't press the tab. Use the point, then the name of the class wrapper. Then press the tab. You see, it created it for you. So when it comes to HTML, it's about time and productivity. You want to be fast and you want to be accurate too. So that's how I'm going to use. So follow, do the same. And div.wrapper. The wrap. Now first, so we're going to do the navigation. So the navigation, I'll use some comments for you. Navigation. So when I do the comments, you know it's navigation. That's why I put it inside here. So let's start. Div, we have to put the logo. And the logo, I think let me provide the logo for you guys so you will get to know the logo, where you can. I mean, if you have been following this course, you already know where we put our stuff. So on a Google Drive. So I'll provide the image, the file that we'll be using. I'll provide everything on where we always put our items. So I'm gonna create a folder there, and go to Drive. So on the folder, if I haven't shared the folder with you, I'll put it on the comments. If you're a new person and you're watching it for your first time, where is the folder? Where's the yeah, it's called. Let's call Code Weekly. So that's the folder, and this lesson will be lesson 4 because we have already done lesson 3 lessons. So this is lesson 4, CSS complete. So I'm uploading all the files to the lesson 4 so you can pick up so you can follow along and use all the materials. So first I will provide an image file. I don't want to put everything there so you just abandon the call. You won't follow along. So I'll put it piece by piece. Final project manager. Yeah, so guys, let me post. Bear with me here. We'll continue. Backup. So final project, yeah. Images. So guys, if you go to lesson 4, CSS complete, you will find uh you'll find the images there. And case you this is your first time, let me post it on the comments, and so we can continue. So check the comments. I did post the code there where you can find. I did post the link to the browser. Also, let's continue. So here we will put the logo. So I mean here. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to show you because the remember I did ID. We did IDs and classes. So classes use is dots here, class, and we use the pound sign to 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 identify IDs. So the same as you can use the dot as a shortcut here, you can use the pound sign too for the IDs. So div pound, then you press the tab. It gives you div ID. So you see the difference, class and ID. So the ID is logo container. So why? Maybe you'll ask the question: why are we giving all these classes? It's just that we are identifying all these classes independently, so we can target with CSS or JavaScript. So that's how we code. So you can put all those CSS inside the code, but as a beginner, or you'll get confused. So we do separate of concern. So I mean, you put the CSS in its separate document. So from that document to link it to this web page, the CSS has to know which tag is it targeted. So that's why we use CSS and the class and the IDs. So after doing the logo container, we got it first. Then the A, this A is a link because the page, the image is not sitting inside this. It's not. I mean, the web page doesn't know where the image is. So the image is in a document in a folder called images. So you have to link where the image is. So we use img image. You press the tab, it will give you the source. So image src means where the source is, the URL, where you want the image tag to know where the image is. So you look for it. So let me see where we are. So this, yeah. So first, we must put the image in our folder. So the same folder that you created the index of, you have to create a folder inside that same root folder and put the image where you want your images to be. You can put in the same level, but it's always best to create a folder called images. Call image or images, how you want it to identify it. So we will look for that, the folder that I gave you. Download the folder and put the folder here inside. So when I mean put it here, you have to go to your folder and look and put the image there. It will appear on this side on the editor. So we'll look for me. I have it. So I'll show you. Then you see how. Guys, look at it. Look on the screen. You'll see that image will appear. So I made my images. It appeared right now. And going to appear right now. So when you click, you see there is a lot of images here with all names. You have to name it. You know what you have to name it. So for me, all my images, I've named it based on what I'm looking for. So you see red velvet, sweet cake, trader. Yeah. So what we need is, because we are in the same root, our relative path is images. Images. You see, even it showed you. When you started typing, it's just even showing you. It just popped up. So slash. When you put the slash, everything inside that images will just pop up. If it doesn't pop up, you just have to type the name. So I'm looking for logo. I think I'm looking for logo 1. Let me see, yeah. And also, you see a little error that I made. I just want you guys to know. Whenever you are naming your files, don't leave spaces. So something like this, when we leave the space and we upload it to the server, it will add a sign here that when you are looking for, you'll find it difficult to find the file. So it's best that you always name it without leaving spaces. In case you want a space here, use underscore or dash. So for me in this, I don't like it. I have to change the name. So you go back to your folder, look for the logo, then change the name. I made it logo new. Yeah. So the alt tag, I think I already explained to you, is for the reader's accessibility. So in case you just want to describe, because the computer doesn't read images on the website, the SEOs and the Googles will know which image it is. So we use these alt tags to as a means to explain it what the image is. So I'll say logo. Now the image, we put the image there. It's always to resize your image to the size that you're looking for. So, but in case you don't have that possibility, you can use a resize tool built into the HTML code width. So that means you're looking for the width. Width, look at how H is, I mean, this CSS is inside built into the HTML. So it's equal sign to width. Then you look for the size of the, I'm using 77 pixels. What will be the height? Height is 65 pixels. So that's the image tag, the logo. Now let's go live and see how it looks like. Guys, look at it on the page. This is the logo. So yeah. So our logo, one thing is logos are used as a shortcut to return to your home page in case you are down at the end of the page or you're on another page and you click a logo. We always use the image as a shortcut to get back to your home page. So that means we have to put a link around the image. So we use the A tag. The A tag is a link. So if I use A shortcut, href. So the href is the reference. It contains the URL, the hyperlinks. So the hyperlink is, you put index. Why are we linking it back to the index? Because I've told you that index is the root of HTML. And that's where your web page begins from. So you're linking it back to where the web page begins from. So that, in other words, it's your home page. Yeah, so link.html. Guys, look at this. We have a problem here. So we said we want to use the hyperlink. We want to link the image to our root folder. But so the ahref index.html, it ends here. Is it targeting the image? No. So we have to put the image in between the A tag. So we take the end of the A, the closing tag. You can delete it, then you go at the end of the image and you type it. Or you can, cut. Control X. For me on the Mac is Control X. So I cut it. When I cut something like that, it's still in memory. So I'll go at the end and post it and paste it. So guys, you see, I posted back here. Now let's see what it after it's saving. Now you see, before, when we hover over the logo, you couldn't see a hand sign. Now look at the hand sign. Now it means it's clickable. There is something behind. I mean, when you click it, it will go to a certain place. It will link to it somewhere. So let's test it. You click it. Look on the top of the page. You see it will refresh itself. That means, yeah, it's working. Let's go on. So now that we have put our logo there, let's put our menus. So that we're still in the navigation. So we have to put our menu. So I think because this course, man, if you are following this course is for beginners. So I'm going slow for them to understand it. Or for this, after that you've done it, it has to take you just 1 minute to create all these ones. So I'm giving it a class of menu. So anytime, guys, you see how I use how I type on the style, how I code. I always put the ending tag on another line. It's not a necessity. It's my own style. So don't get it twisted that you have to also do the same. You can put everything on one line and type everything that you want. But for me, I think that's how I want. So you can also, you pick how you want to code. But for me, I think when I put it on another line, I think it's cool for me. So I created a div. So the div is always a container. So make sure the div is just a container. It stretches from 0 to the end of the page, on the width, on the horizontal, but on the vertical, it doesn't have any space. So I've just put so let's create the nav. So we have this tag called a nav tag. Well, so the nav element represents a section of the page that links to other pages or paths within the page. I think it's self-explanatory. So a section with navigation links. So first, we'll use UL. I think we learned it last week. UL. So UL, then we put the list inside the UL. So this is where we're gonna put, when you're on the website, the home, the links to the other pages, the menu. So we are listing those. So you see that even it gave you a list here. You haven't even typed it yet. So what are our links? Our links is, let's see, it's home. Guys, also remember, it's easier for you to copy rather than type. If what you are doing, you have to duplicate it for 5 times. So you just copy it, because if we go back and type, it's all time. I mean, human productivity is just copy it and go to another line, paste it. So here, then you change what you need to be changed, you change. So I think the next one is about. Uh, Let me look at the website that we are developing. Yeah. Okay, so our next one is shop. Shop. Next one is about. Next one is contact. We need to delete this one. So guys, you see, this is our list, our menu. So you see on the page, everything that we're creating is stacking on each other. That's the power of CSS that we're gonna style it. So first, one thing I will tell you that you will pick it up is always create all your HTML first. Then you start with your CSS. Some people will say do it both at the same time, but for me, I think it's best you create your HTML first. So next one is our we have to create our hamburger menu. So let me show you hamburger menu. So on a web page, we have the desktop page. I mean, when you open the web page, you'll see that when it gets to this size, every web page have a behavior that it changes. So let's go to which web page? Let's see, Code Academy. So these people, you see the web page, how their web pages. It's a full page. Let's hold your mouse and drag it to your left. You, you see, look at it. There was no mobile menu there, but when it gets here, all the menus disappear, and this one here is called a hamburger menu. So it appears, then you click it, then you see the menus here. So it's on a mobile. This is having a behavior of the mobile. So I'm simulating how it works on the mobile. You can even go on your right click, press the inspect. We'll get to this one, but I'm just showing you. You toggle the device toolbar. This will give you a responsive page. You can even change it, simulate it as your own font. You can add more mobile smartphones that you want to know the size. So Pixel 2, iPhone X. You see, this is how it will look on iPhone X. Pixel 2, this. iPad Pro. You get it. So this is called responsive design. So right now, what we want is we want to get the hamburger menu there. So that one, we'll create a div. You see, div is appearing on your web page. It will appear many times on the web page. So, because it's the container, so kind of we use it a lot. So, mobile menu toggle. We create a button. BT. So, what do we have to put in the button? We have to look for so these ones are called Unicodes. In computers, this number that you see, it means from in the HTML Unicode UTF-8. This is why you see UTF-8. So you put these ones, erase it, and it knows. So let me show you where you can find your UT codes. So you get here, look at this one. There is a lot of signs here. The charter, all these icons, you can use some code. You see DC, entity, Amber, the name, the code. So this is where you can get all. So this was 9776. Look at it. 9776. Where is it? This one. So you can try it yourself. 976. Trigram for habit. You see. So we trying to create a hamburger menu. So look at it. I will display this. Yeah. Now you understand it. Thank you. So this one, we have to use a JavaScript to toggle it. So we'll get to it, but now let's create the mobile menu. Div mobile menu. Well, our desktop menu is this. So the same menu will copy all from the nav and post it inside your mobile menu. Now we got it. Now I think we'll use social media icons, but for now let's leave it. We'll come back to it. Now on our page, we want to create a banner. Guys, you look on the page. Anytime that you code in, you put this there. It's up. We are using the server that I showed you the last time. So all changes are instant. So you see the button, it changed like this. So now let's create our banner. Use comments a lot. So our banner will be images, capital 6 web banners. Always use always make sure to use the alt and name it what your banner represent. Give it a class name of banner. Guys, look at it. This is our banner. You see, it's running from left to right. So all the banners, it's better you resize your image as what you want. So I've already resized it. Created a banner. Next, let's get to another section. So remember I told you about section. A section is what? It represents a generic section of a document application. A section in this kind is a thematic grouping of content. Each section should be identified, typically by including a heading, each one and each. So as it says, it's just a generic section of a document. So we just use it as to group items in a section. So we give it a class of section. I name it section, but it's better you name it a different name. So let's say now we need H1 as a header. So on the page, delivery, fresh, baked food to you, 1997. Alright, so the next section, we create another section because these are not grouped together. So let's create another section. This time we'll name it products. And in the section, let's put a div. Let's name it wedding. In the wedding, we have H2. On a web page, one thing I'll let you know is always to have one H1 tag on the page, as H1 is the header of your page. So always identify, don't use H1 to appear on several times on the same page. Make sure you have the header tags you have from H1 to H6. So use different tags to identify your pages. The size of it, you can change the size how you want it, but it's best that you use H1, only H1 as one time. And so we'll name it wedding. Yeah, we already named it. So it's wedding cakes. Now we will need a paragraph. So P. I have it here, so I'll just copy it and put it. So guys, you can put anything that you want. All these names that we are using is, the text is just to create a page, so you can type anything that you want. Remember, I showed you LOREM, and you press the tab. It will give you a placeholder text to fill up your page in case you don't want to type. So you don't need to type all this. If after, you can make sure to type uh, how you want it, but for time's sake, let's continue with it. Some of it I'll copy what I've already, my reference page. So the div is closed. So I think we wanted to create a slide, but let me see, do we want to put a slide here? Do you have to teach you a slide? That's the problem. I'm not sure if I should let you know how to create a slide. Because you haven't gotten to JavaScript and all those. But yes, though, let's create it. So on the web page, there is a slide. No, I think it will take a. Let's leave out the slide and let's continue with HTML. So let's create a grid. So here we create another div and we name it wrapper. Then you create another div as a child, name it 1. Put an image inside and look for the image. So we create, let's save it and see what we are creating. So yeah. So the div, we created a image source. So you have to look for the image source, the source of the image, and let's look at the images. I think we need the pie. I renamed the pie without the 2, so I will rename my pie. So I've already told you, you type the pie here, it won't work because the pie is on a folder. So you have to target the folder first. The relative path of it is images. Then you type the pie. Always make sure to end it with the extension of it. So it's .jpeg. Some can be .png. There's a lot of type of files. So JPEG. Always use your art and tell what it is. So it's a pie. Nice. You see, we got a pie. Nice pie. I mean, tasty. Then So you will be doing this for a lot of yeah. We need at least, I think it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll copy from here all those that we need. So copy and so there's indentation. You always have to indent your code. I mean, look at it. This is the parent. Now, something is wrong here. Let me see. Okay. See how the file is moving on I'm using this to scroll. It's getting too long. You can just hold Alt Z. It will break it down. Yeah. So when you go on, I think it's what is it? Yeah. Go on View, toggle word wrap, toggle word wrap. It will wrap it down. So it won't just, or wrap it to the space and push it down. Else you have to always be scrolling horizontally. It's annoying. So the nuts. Right, so we have the div image, donuts, cake, pastry. What is yeah, pastry. We have bread. We have muffins. Let's save it and see what it is. Oh wow! Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Mm. So we got our images on. We got our caption. Oh yeah, they explain caption. So let me go through it again. So we put our image on the page. This tag is called the BR tag. It's a break tag, a line break. So if I remove this BR, let's see what will happen. Delete it. Let's save it. Guys, look at it. Now it's at the end of the file. So for us, we want the pi tag to be on the separate below the image. So we put BR tag is always used to break a line. So I put a BR tag here. Tag here. Now see, it's on a separate, it's below the image. Now the caption. You ask me, what's the caption? Caption element represent the title of the table. That is its parents. If it has a parent, that is a table element. We use the caption always as a table to just represent the title of a table. That is a parent. So I'm using a caption here to describe what the product is. So caption, you see, so that's why we are using the caption. In case I don't want the caption, I can use another one called label to label what the um, the images. But let's continue. So after this, let's create our table because I want us to cover everything on the HTML tags. So everything that I've taught you, we have learned together. We want to tag it with a CSS and C. So Dave dot call this table wrapper, the wrap. Now create a table. TB table. Give it a class name of responsive. So as I told you, table, we create rows and columns. So table row. We're creating a row. Now we need table head. TH, we used it. I think it's called head packages. So guys, all these texts, if you don't have time to write it, you can use Lorem Ipsum. But after understanding this CSS, you and HTML and CSS, you were able to create your own special website. Let's see what it's doing. Guys, we are creating a table, care packages, special cases, subscription. See, you ask me why I'm not showing the full page. I mean, on the best note, you always do mobile first when you're creating a website. That's my advice that maybe you can take it or not. I just want to see how the image you do on the mobile first before I create the desktop. Some people also they create the web page first before they create, and they create the desktop one first before they create the mobile one. I can do both. I think this one was this web page first. So we will see. So let's create. So TD, create another row. Now we created TD. So you see the TD represent a data cell. So I give it $10. But I think before the $10, we want to link the $10 to a page. So we use the A tag, the link tag. Always make sure your A tag is wrapping the thing that you are targeting. So that means the thing has to be inside the A tag, not the other way around. So we have to close the A tag. think it goes to the shop.html. We haven't created the shop.html yet, but let's put it. It's a page that we will create soon. Think this, we can copy it and post it 3 times because I think it's 3. Yeah, we created a table with 3 times. Change the prices here. Some are $30. The cakes, some are $15. Now let's see what happened. Nice, you see? And this is it. For $10, special occasions and subscription is $15. For time's sake, I don't know. Let me see what we would do. Okay, Dave. We create a middle banner from here. IMG, images, hardware, middle banner. Our company's middle banner, we put it in the middle. So now let's click. Now we're creating the footer. So we give it a section here. This section is a class of footer banner, footer background. You'll link it to the index.html. IMG, get images, look for the back to top button. Let me rename the back button. I think there is a space there. Take the space out. So anytime that you want to know if your link works or your image is linked linked correctly, you can hold the command or CTR and press the link. It means command click, follow the link. You click the link, and it will take you to where the link is. Yeah, sure, it's linked correctly. So let's see on the web page, this sign, look at, if I click it, see what it will do. It takes us to the top of the page. Sometimes when you're designing a website, it's too long, so you want to put the back button that will take you back to the top of the page. We can target it to a link if in case here I'm targeting the whole page, so it's refreshing. I can also target it to ID. So let's say, where is that? Let me give it another ID here. Let me see. Back to top. In case I delete this one. Right. Let's save it. Oh no no. Oh yeah. I'm linking it back there. So let me see my ref. Sometimes HTML you forget about. That's why I'm teaching you HTML before we get to web development. I mean, after you do web development and you're doing back end stuff and you forget about some few things on HTML. Uh, no. Oh, back to top. Oh, yeah, I think that's why it wasn't working. Let me see. So make sure the names back top. Okay, yeah, it's the same. Back to top. Don't know why. Back to. It should be working, but back to top. Index dot. Oh, think it's let me see. Um, let's leave it. I will come back to it. So now let's create a folder. So the folder is the same as the other one, just that we want to create a menu up below the page. So we pick up the same thing that we created on the nav bar, you put it, and then you paste it. But you just have to look at the class. It's different from the tab one because we want it to be unique. So now for this one, give it a folder list, but the list is the same. It's the same. But the only thing that changes is the nav folder and the folder list. Now, guys, we are about to finish, and so I think this is not bad. Now let's do a little bit styling. If we don't finish today, we'll finish the following week. So create, for me, I always want to separate my CSS into its folder in case I'll have like a bunch of folders, a bunch of titles, CSS files. So like now we are in index. In case we go to the about, we'll create a CSS style sheet for it. So the style sheet, we can have like 6 style sheets for one website. So it's always best to create a folder called CSS. Oh, make sure it's not inside it. If you click this and you create a folder, it will go inside it, inside the images folder. So make sure you're not clicking anything here. Just click CSS. Now create a file, new file. You can name it star sheet .css. Oh no. So guys, let me show you something. You see this sign here? You can split your page into two. So you can see both the index and the style sheet. So you click, you see the style sheet is here, the index is here. In case you can even split it into 4, 5, 6. Go to the view, the editor layout, look at it. 3 columns, 2 rows. It's a lot you can do. So choose what you play along with it, and you'll know the burst that you want. 2 columns. I like this one. So now let's create a style sheet. Guys, our text. We need a font for our website. So we can use the generic fonts that's already here. Or Google, we have some providers that provide free fonts for us. One is Google. Let me show you. You open Google, you type Google Fonts. Click on Google Fonts. There's a lot of fonts here. You look at the one that you want. Let's say we want Oswald. You search for it, Oswald. This font. You click on it. Look at the sizes. In case you want this font, let me see what the one that I chose. Yeah. That went easy. Almost before we knew it. Live style sheet. So you can read about the story and all those blah 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 blah. So you can select the font. You can add all the styles that you want, the regular, medium. Then you can download the font onto your computer and use it. But what we want to do right now is different from download. We want to embed the font. Embed means we are picking the source from Google, is on their server. So we have two ways of embedding the font. We have the link where we pick it up and put it on our HTML page here. Link, put it somewhere on the head. So right now we're linking to that font. But what I want most, I always use another one called import. This one goes to the style sheet. So let's see, you can copy this one, put it on the style sheet on the head of the first line, and now we are using Oswald. So let's try our page and see. So nice, you look at it. You see our text? It changed. I think Oswald is this serif font. Yeah, let me see. No, it's a sans serif. So now what I need is I need Roboto. Yeah. Guys, yeah. So you can add different text and it will all import in one URL. So if you go through it, you can see Oswald, the weights, the family, the Roboto, the family, the weights. Then you import it into your file. So I have one here that I will use. Now, let's start with the body. So body, we need a background image. The background image, we use the URL to link it. So you go to images, dish, background, the PNG. Oh, guys, I made a mistake. I just told you to just put a style sheet, but I haven't linked the style sheet. That's why all our changes wasn't even showing up. So this is where it gets interesting. So back to your HTML, your index file, under the title, inside the header, the head tag, right, link. You see, this is the relationship, the reference to the file, where the file is. You are linking it and you're telling it that it's the style sheet. It's the attribute, the relationship to that. So you name it as a style sheet. But this is where the where the file is located. So you have to tell the CSS and the HTML to look for the CSS file. So when we type stylesheet.css, nothing will happen because we don't even have the file. In case you click it, let's see. Unable to open style sheet. Do you want to create it? Because they don't. So you say cancel. Because we put the style sheet in a folder, we have to specify the folder first. So CSS/style sheet. Now let's see if it's working. For you to test if it's working, you always use the background color and give it a let's give it a red and let's test it. Great, it works. Now your file is linked to a CSS file. Great. And okay, while loading the image, open file using external text library content. So images, let me see. Now we know our background is working. So in our container, the page, we would love the page to have 1200 pixels. So the page right now, it runs from left to right, but we want to center the page. So we want to link the container of the page. We want it to be 1200 pixels. So what we will do is we use something like now let me show you guys. Anything that I do, I think I have to let you know. The index, I think there was a little bit of mistake on the index. Yeah, so our I think the class. So I made a little mistake. It was ID here on my refresh. Let's make it class dot wrapper. So class, we use this dot before we type the selected's name. So it's RP. Width, you give it a width of 1200 pixels, 1200 pixels. The color red, you will delete it after. Give it a margin of 0 auto. do the background of our color that we are using is this color. Guys, look at it. Yellow. We want to give it a little border. So two pixels, solid and black. Guys, look at it. Here is solid. The border here, solid. You can change it how you want it. There is a lot of different styles. It's called dashed. See? You see the border? It's different. The size of it, you can change it how you want it. It's all to your taste. Big. I think mine 2 is okay. This, we're gonna give, yeah. Now let's go to the logo. Dot logo. So always reference your IDs. That's why I opened 2 tab, where you can close it and go back and forth. So we did the wrap dot. So now I want to work on the logo. So where is the logo? The logo. So where is it? AHF position. ID logo container. If you are looking for something and you can't find it, there is a shortcut for you to find. Command F. Command F. Then you type what you are looking for. So if I start typing LOGO, everywhere LOGO appears, it will just highlight it. But for you to get to that place, you can navigate with the top and down here. Top, go to the first one, the third one. See 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. Yeah. Guys, I think we need to, there's a lot to be learned. Now you can see we're on our way to finishing our first web page. By the time after that you're done with all these, that like you have your own experience, everything that I did here, 15 minutes you will do it. Just 15 minutes. Because I'm teaching you, that's why we're taking like an hour to learn all these. So I think we will end it today. Then next week we continue. But right now I'll upload the page, the folder to our Google Drive. Go download it and play around with it. But you know, we are on our way to having our beautiful website selling cardboard made bakery. You can create a simple web pages for static web pages for your local clients, and you can make some money. That's why I'm teaching you guys everywhere from Asia, Africa, all the young ones who wants to get into web development but don't have the necessary funds. I'm helping you guys to also make a little money, because right now we need to help each other. And uh so great. This next week we continue, and by next week I think I'll go a little bit faster, because by that time you already played around with it and you know how to type, where to put your full stops and stuff. So thank you. Next week we meet again. I'm Francis Antobre. I'm out. You can check my handles on Facebook, Francis Antobre, on Instagram, Alaj Jimenez Kobe Cup, COBB COBB Kobe Cup, COBBY COBB. Thank you.